Hi everybody, FitzHugh here with your Tweak of the Week, and today we got an email from Elizabeth in Norfolk, Virginia. Elizabeth wants to know, how do I chip the ball properly? So basically, Elizabeth, there's three kinds of chips. There's the high, lofted, open-face chip when you need to go over an obstacle like a bunker or something. Then there's the square-face chip that you'll use 99% of the time to get you from point A to point B with no obstacles to go over. And finally, there's the closed-face chip that you use on rare occasions when you want to make the ball run to the back tier of the green, or you need to chip under a bush or something like that. So we're going to show you all three today, so let's get started. So the open-face chip we're going to use when we have to get the ball up quickly and land it softly, like when we go over a bunker or we're trying to go over heavy rough to get to the green. And we do this by sliding the club underneath the ball and having this flange, the back part of the club, strike the ground underneath the ball. That's going to pop that ball up in the air. It's going to make it go high and land softly. So there's several little tricks to it. The first one is we want to keep the weight of our body all on the left side. We do this to minimize motion and to keep us more compact and accurate. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to open that club face a little bit. What I mean by that is turn the face slightly open or back away from the target line, and what that's going to do is expose the flange to the ground, because that's where we want the club to hit. We don't want the club to hit on the leading edge like we do in a normal shot. We actually want the club to hit on this flange on the back. So make sure you got enough grass underneath the ball to do this, because if you don't, you might hit a skull. So now we got the weight on the left, we got the club face open. Now what we want to do is cock the wrist in an upward position away from the ball, keeping our head still and the weight on the left. As we do this, we want to maintain this straight line relationship between this left wrist and the left forearm. It needs to be in a flat, straight line. Most of the time, amateurs will open, or what we call cup, this wrist. What that leads to is fat shots or even shanks. So make sure when you cock your wrist that you always maintain this straight line relationship from the left wrist through the left forearm. So now we've got the weight on the left, we've got our hips cleared, we have our hands in front, we've got the club face open, and we've taken the club back, keeping this left wrist flat in line with that forearm. Now all we have to do now is thump the ground or slide the club underneath, and that ball will pop right up and go right at the target. And also make sure that the belt buckle follows the shot. If you stay here and keep that belt buckle facing the ball, you're liable to hit it fat. What you got to do is keep this belt buckle moving towards the hole. So it looks like this. This is the open-faced chip shot. So the next chip we're going to talk about is the square-faced chip. This is the chip you're going to use 99% of the time. Basically, it just gets us from point A to point B. You have no obstacles to overcome. It's just a standard shot. You're going to use it most of the time. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to set our weight on the left, just like we did the other time, about 90%. And why? Because it keeps us more stable. The more stable we are, the more accurate our hits, the more consistent our contact. And the better the backswing and the better the distance. So we're going to keep the weight on the left to keep our swing minimized. Then we're going to keep our hips slightly open, about 45 degrees to the target line. And why? Because we want the hand to swing at the target. If I get close to the target and I start trying to swing my hand around, it doesn't go straight down the line. So open up your hips a little bit, get the weight on the left, and let this hand go right at the target, just as if you're tossing a ball. That's what we really are trying to do in chipping and pitching. So once you get the weight on the left, you got your hips open, you got your hands slightly in front like the club was designed to do, then it's a simple matter of just pushing your shoulders back and pulling through with the left side. Keeping your head still, just push back and pull through. And you'll look up and see that ball going right straight at the target. So the last chip we're going to talk about is the closed face chip. Now you're not going to use this chip very often, maybe to punch out under a bush or something. But professionals use this shot when the pin is on a back tier on the back side of the green. And they don't want to risk hitting a lofted shot that might actually hit into the slope and then start moving backwards towards them. What they do instead is close that club face down, hit a low running shot that'll scramble up that hill towards the pin. So the way we do that is we're going to keep our weight on the left, just like we did with the other chips. We're going to keep our hips at a 45-degree angle to the target, just like we did in the other chips, so that our hands and arms can swing straight at the target. Then what we're going to do, and the only difference really, is we're going to play the ball way back in the stance. We're going to have our hands way in front of the ball, which, as you can see now, closes the face down. And in doing so, it'll make the ball come out low and it'll run a long ways. So once you get in this position, all you're going to do now is push the club back with your shoulders and pull through with the left. You'll look up and watch that ball going right at the target. So there you have the three different kinds of chips. There's the open, the square, and the closed. So Elizabeth, thanks for the email. Folks, keep those emails coming. If you've got any questions or concerns about your golf swing and you don't understand, shoot us an email and we'll do a golf show just for you. I'm Woody FitzHugh, and that is your Tweak of the Week.